So MECM or SCCM stand for Microsoft, which actually, guys, MECM is the new appellation for SCCM, is the new designation, okay? So SCCM is MECM, sorry, stand for Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Manager. And guys, I'm just thinking about this, I forget to tell you, but I need to quickly tell you the actual tutorial guide about SCCM, you know, the actual tutorial about how to set up your SCCM. So I was just looking for the last video on YouTube that cover well this actual this whole setup. So this one is pretty good. The guy is not that much enthusiast. He's very slow. He doesn't speak. He doesn't have a good mic. But to be honest, is the best one. To be honest, is the best one. It's enough. Like it's enough for you to follow. And he also has um, drive where you could follow, and he explaining here the basics of SCCM, which we will cover. This thing we will cover together, and it's pretty good. And you also have this one. Uh, this one is better in terms of the quality of the mic, the way he explain things. But he has been done. This video is from like more than 1 year ago. Okay, more than 1 year ago. But it's still very good. I just think that this one is better. I just think this one is better because it's longer and it will give you step by step exactly to set up your SCCM server. So that's why maybe I prefer this one. So yep. So let's go back. Let's go back on what I just said. So SCCM or MECM, it's a powerful tool used by IT teams, okay, to manage devices. So deploying software or keep system updated through software updates. And company use SCCM because it can manage thousands of computers from a single console. It automates tasks like software installation, update, and policy enforcement. And also, it ensures all systems stay secure and compliant with company standards. So it's just, guys, the actual very, very basic definition, concept, notion about what is SCCM, okay? So I'm just going to say this for the new arrivals. So guys, you just need to look, if SCCM is still confused for you, just look SCCM as the manager of a hotel, okay? The manager oversees everything, like checking in guests, and it will be like adding new device to the system, or managing room service. And you need to think of it as deploying updates or software to this device. Okay, you understand like the analogy? It's very simple. And yeah, like the SCCM is like a hotel manager of this like hotel, okay, of this company. In our case, it will be Antidote Security, and the SCCM make sure like to adding new device to the system, managing room service, which is deploying, for example, updates and software. So just think SCCM. Um, use this analogy to understand SCCM, okay? So now I want to also make a very broad introduction about this thing. It's, guys, how you could use ChatGPT for SCCM. So, and it will be actually for everything. Guys, ChatGPT, you don't realize how much it could mislead you. And I've made the experience about this, and it's just crazy. Because, and it's not the fault of ChatGPT, it's just because there is 1,000 factors when you have an issue on any of the servers that you are building. It could be 1,000. There could be 1,000 way of resolving, not 1,000 way of resolving the issue. It's the trick. It could, in these 1,000 factors, it's like you have a pool of way of fixing your issues, and maybe five of them or three of them or only one of them is the solution. So ChatGPT, because it has maybe like 10,000 of way of solving the issue, he will tell you three, like, or maybe let's say 10. Okay, he will tell you 10 way of resolving the issue. And most of the time, I don't know why, but ChatGPT always go to the advanced troubleshooting stuff. Like he doesn't go to the simple stuff. For example, I had so many issue because I didn't check Windows time. Okay, maybe this one is a wrong example. I had some issue with before, like when I was understanding what SCCM is, etc. About, if I remember well, I need to remember, but it was about some boundary group that I didn't plug to the distribution point, something like this. And it was easy. It was just going to the distribution point, adding the boundary group, and that's it. But SCCM went guide me to a very complex way of resolving the issue, going to the server configurations and then checking this to the domain controllers. I was doing a bunch of things because I just forget about it. It's not that I didn't know, I just forget about it. So you it's very important to, either if you want to use ChatGPT, you need to give him the exact, and the thing is that even if you give the exact frame, it's not enough, because like I said, even if you give him so much information, you go from 10,000 uh way of resolving the issue to 100. So it will tell you 10. He cannot say 100 way of resolving the issue. So guys, just remember this, always check the basics, okay? Always check the basics. Remember what is the foundation of how the system work. And sorry, but you have to manage it sometimes on your own. Like sometimes you just need to think and said, okay, what is the basic of it? Maybe you could ask ChatGPT for this. Um, okay, you could ask ChatGPT for this. Don't worry about this. We will cover this later. Okay, it's not a big issue. Um, so it will be actually in the second session, in the second live session, we will cover this. So what can I say more about ChatGPT? Yeah, guys, just think of it as when you have some sort of issue, just think about the basics and ask ChatGPT. When you have this type of issue, before solving anything, what is the prerequisite for this to work? Give me the prerequisites for this to work, and then it will give you what's going on. For example, and this I'm going to talk about this later, but about, for example, the prerequisites on your domain controllers or your SCCM server, on the server roles in the server managers. I'm not talking about SCCM. There is, if you just forget to check one thing here, if you just forget to check one thing in the add roles and features, and you forget one little features, it could cause issue in your whole SCCM server. Okay, it could cause the whole issue in your SCCM server, and you don't know what's going on, you don't know what, how, when, etc., etc. So yeah, guys, now the third thing that I want to say, it's um account and permissions, but more about, I want to talk more about accounts. Okay, when I first beginning this journey on SCCM, I didn't have I couldn't understand, figure it out, what is service accounts. Because I thought, like, you need to make the difference between user accounts and service accounts. And later we're going to talk about the difference between computer account and user accounts. It could be very clear, but I'm telling you, even if you know, oh yeah, computer is a computer and a user, it's so easy to make the difference. No, guys, I'm telling you, the way that I'm going to explain things, it could be tricky. Like, it could be, sometimes you could be misled by this definition. Um, so for service accounts, these are special accounts used by SCCM. So yes, they are user accounts. Okay, they are user accounts, but they are special accounts used by SCCM to handle background tasks. Only this is just user that you create. Sorry, I will just plug to make sure my mic work. It's just, oh yeah, because I mean, okay, you see, I don't have, I didn't enable this in my SCCM server. It's a roles that I need to have in my server manager, but of course I have in my, it's the Active Directory user and computers app tools. So of course, so guys, look, these service accounts are simply users that you can see SCCM here, okay? These are the actual service accounts. Nobody use them. Nobody go. It's just, okay, it's user accounts only for the SCCM. I didn't say it's for the SCCM admin. I didn't say it's for the system administrator. Okay, you in your company you have many position. Okay, you have the junior technician SCCM. You have the system administrator, and you have also other like other position. All those position in the IT teams, they never use this. Okay, even though they are users, those service accounts are only going to be used by the SCCM server to handle and do background tasks like software deployments and updates. Okay, because there is a thing that you need to understand that is very important. SCCM server is a computer, okay, is only a computer account. But in order to work, it needs service accounts, it needs user accounts. It cannot do everything on its own because he's only a computer account, and it could be it is only restricted to do computer things, computer account things. So he needs user accounts. So the whole way of automation and deploying and doing this and using permission for doing this, he use those little guys. Okay, he use, for example, client push install account, use this one, that one, etc. And I was just thinking about one thing that I didn't do, but I will cover this later. So to repeat, computer account versus user account. Every computer in Active Directory gets its own account, right? Just like your user does. But the difference is that user accounts represent people, okay, and they are used to log in, access resources, perform tasks in how you say interactively. For example, an IT admin logs into a computer using their username and password. Okay, it's what user account is. A computer account, these are created automatically when a machine joins the domain. So you could, for example, use an administrator account. For example, you just launch a Windows server. You just launch a Windows server machine. For example, this one is a brand new Windows server, and you still didn't do anything on it. When you want to add this machine to the actual domain nt.security.com, you can use an administrator account. Okay, when you go here, you can use here, when you type okay, and then you will be prompt for something, and you will be prompt for like to put user and then password. You can use your administrator account, but it will not give administrator rights to the machine. Okay, it's very important. It doesn't inherit the actual permission of the user that make this computer account join the domain. It still have very basic permission, just the limit permission, just to be enrolled by the domain controller. Again, guys, if you see DC2, it's just because I had some problem with my DC1. I had some file corruption. I explained it in the last video about router and like connection between the two sites, etc. So that's why you see DC2 and not DC1. Okay. So that's why here you have my MECM server. And if you check here, member of domain computers, SCCM admin, okay, and SCCM admin SG is the actual security group that has everything, that has like every um, as you can see is part of member of domain admins, domain users, which is normal, enterprise admin, group policy, schema admins. So it means, so guys, just simply look at this. This MECM server, because it's only a computer, and even if I add it with my administrative user account, it doesn't inherit the administrative, um, here. Look, guys, it's simply here. No, it's domain controller here. If I add, because this guy here, administrator, have everything, like is part of domain admins, domain user, enterprise admin, group policy, schema admin. It's not because I use this account to register this new computer here that it will inherit. Okay, guys? Okay, I think you guys understand this notion. So that's why when I add this new computer and it has nothing on it, I need to give him all the rights needed for him to perform. Okay? But he still needs all this user account. And guys, again, a misconception. You can only use one account, and you can use this one user account as a service account and do everything. You can use, for example, this one. You change the name just for for simplistic way of looking at your user, and you could name it SCCM super user. Okay, super user for SCCM server. You can say this, name it this way, and you will give him all the correct, all the actual like roles. Okay, all the actual um permission, like domain admins, enterprise admin, and as you can see, guys, what I did here is useless because it's a member of SCCM admin and SCCM admin SG security group for security group. It has everything, and here I double it. So it's not, I can delete everything here because it's useless since it's already a part of admin SG. Okay, so I can do it. I can use this, only this user account, and while I'm creating my SCCM server, I could say, look, I don't want to create any service accounts. I want to use this only one service account, that is that one. Okay, that is this one, and I want you to use it for everything, like everywhere. I want to use this service account. Okay, so I hope you guys understand this notion because it's really really important. um Let me think about something that I want you to understand. So why we are doing this, why we are, why companies, because guys, we're always mimicking an actual company environment, and why we are doing this, why we are so like why we implementing all those user account, which are service accounts, is just for what we called RBAC, which is world-based access control. So SCCM company environments use RBAC to ensure that only the right people, and in our case, the right service accounts, have access to specific features. So it's just for security reasons. For example, a software deployment manager might only have permission to push applications. Okay, it's just an example. And a help desk technician might only have read access to logs and reports, and he cannot do anything, like he doesn't have full control over the logs. So it's why software deployment it's why software deployment manager, the actual guy that handle the software deployment in a company only have permission to push applications. So it's just for security reason. And we use this same system for, and we call it also least privilege. Least privilege. So it means we just need one service account to handle, for example, client push installation account. The role of this SCCM user will only be to push to client to handle the client push install accounts. Look, guys, why I'm showing you this is because I think I make a mistake. I forget to plug this one. Sorry, in my new SCCM server. Okay, and if I go here, you see, I forget to add this actual SCCM client push this actual user. And do you know why it work? Because look guys, here I have done everything. I have so many, like you see, I have my all this computer that you see here, their client is active, and I can deploy any software I want, I can control them, I can do everything I want. Why it's still running? Why everything is still running smoothly? It's simply because I give everything major rights. So that's why my actual SCCM server, when he's trying to use, for example, my random, sorry, when he's trying to use my default account or basic account to do the work, he can he can actually do it because I give to almost everyone here um like huge all the rights, like all full control possible. I give all the control, all the permission possible for those users. So that's why he doesn't need it. And I don't need to plug that in. Okay? So it's just for you to understand how it works. And why I did this is, guys, simply because of simplistic reason. Implementing your SCCM, make it running, deploying software, doing software update. This amount of work is so much exhausting that I'm just giving this to myself, okay? I'm just giving that, at least that, to myself. So I don't need to troubleshoot this part. So, um, can I say this analogy about? Because I was thinking about giving you an analogy about running a hotel, and I don't know if I should say it or not. Let me check. Yeah, I think it could be interesting because what I was thinking is that if we take this hotel analogy, you need to see, sir, and you have the hotel manager, you have the staff, you have everything and everything. Service accounts, and I think you already know what you will directly understand the analogy. But service accounts are like the kitchen staff. They are not seen by guests, but they are essential for keeping everything running smoothly, and they handle the behind the scene work, okay? Just like service accounts enable SCCM to perform tasks like deploying updates, collecting inventory without needing constant inputs, like without needing like you writing script and doing this and doing that, okay? And what I said, also what I wrote, is that computer accounts are like the individual hotel rooms, and each one is unique and need specific upkeep. And these rooms, which are the computer accounts, have tasks to perform but rely on central systems like SCCM to make sure that they are ready and functional. So if a room isn't set up correctly, permission missing, it means permission is missing, and guests which is the SCCM processes, can't use them as expected. So it's just a simple analogy. And yeah, it's yeah, and RBAC, I said that they are like the key cards of hotel staff. Okay, so this documentation, if someone wants, I would just plug it in. Okay, so I would just plug it in the group. So I say that RBAC is like the key cards hotel staff use, and each staff member can only access the areas they need to do their job. But means different. I give everyone like a master key cards for what they are doing in the actual hotel, which in my case is in the actual SCCM server. Okay, so do I need to talk about other thing in this section? uh I think it was enough. And guys, remember, like, you could ask me question later when we will cover everything. So keep notes about the question you got on this subject. Okay. Okay. So I talk about that and this. Okay, great.